What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of my Next Gen Career Mode. This is episode number 22, and we start today's episode off by finally making a new signing. Yes, I know, guys, I've been reading your comments, I've been a cheapskate, I said that in the last episode. We've made a new signing. Werner is coming on loan, 70 overall, very quick. He's clearly got a big future. I wanted to sign him last year, but for some reason I couldn't do so on loan, but this year Stuttgart are happy for us to take him on loan, and only £5 a week as well, so I'm very pleased with that. And yeah, he's came into the club, so yeah, I know, like, I have been reading your comments. I know you guys are desperate for me to make a big new signing, but you've got to understand my reluctance to do that, because we don't really have the money, so you got to understand my reluctance to do that. I do read the comments. I do know you guys want me to sign like a big name player, but we just don't have the money at the moment, and also I know that a couple of people did suggest I get the financial takeover from the catalogue, because I mean, it's not really that, I wouldn't say unrealistic, but it's not really that harsh when you consider the fact the board are being really harsh to us, giving us just £11 million, but I don't want to do it. I really don't. I was thinking maybe buy the financial takeover and just spend like 30 million of it on scouts and whatever the rest, on the players, but I decided not to. I thought it's just not really for me. I used it last year in one of my career modes, but that was just to sign a cult hero of the series. Anyone that was on my channel long enough will know last year I used it and we signed Marcano. The only reason we brought the financial takeover was so we could sign the cult hero of the series, Marcano. We don't have a cult hero of this series yet, so with that in mind I decided not to use the financial takeover. But anyway, Areola has also came in on loan as well, so we've now made 2 signings early on, so there you go. Areola comes in on loan, and that's good because we need a backup goalkeeper. We only had one goalkeeper after seeing obviously Kraft leave, Jarstein leave, and Sprint leave on a loan. Areola's came in. He's only 68 overall, but as you can see, he's very young. He's a football manager beast. I of course remember him from one of my long-term saves, and yeah, he's very, very. I'm sure he'll grow to a very decent level as well. He's got some good potential, and I'm happy with that deal. We also decided to put in a bid for Fellaini here of United. Of course, his United career hasn't really worked out the way he would have been hoping, so I thought, we'd give him an escape rope, come to Hertha Berlin, come be our holding midfielder, so we offer a bid of £4.5 million, and also Marco Hoga of Schalke, he's valued at £6.5 million. We put in a cheeky little bid here of just a few £1,000,000. It is £6 million, 500 grand under his valuation, and we'll wait and see what Schalke say for this deal, because they're not going to say yes, obviously. He's worth a few £1,000,000 more than that, but we'll wait and see what they say. But also I decided to put a bid for Andre Schürrle of Chelsea here. Now this would be a huge signing, because obviously Schürrle, a former Leverkusen player, very, very decent wide man, could play up top as well. And he's only, 23 years old, very, very decent. And also possibly Marco Marin. He hasn't really been used at Chelsea. He's been out on loan to Sevilla, and I'm not sure who the other team was out on loan, but it might have just been Sevilla actually. But we put in a bid of £3 million, because I was kind of annoyed, because that said he was an important first team player, and I was like, he's not. Like, he's not an important. When has he ever been an important first team player for Chelsea? So we put in a new bid for Marin, and we'll wait and see what Chelsea say. We also put in a bit of £2 million for Schmelzer, and yes, I am still cheaper to cheapskate, because I know he's worth at least triple that, but even so, we put in a new bid there and wait and see what they say. But a transfer offer comes in for Ramos here, and it's Leverkusen. They want him for £9.5 million, and that's not a bad deal, For a striker I don't really get on with anyway, that's not a bad deal, but we asked him for £12 million and wait and see what they say. But Chelsea said that Marine was too valuable to them, so they won't let him go. I was like, really? Marco Marin is too valuable for Chelsea. Okay, too valuable for Chelsea. But also Schmelzer is too valuable for Dortmund, which makes sense. But also we put a new bid for Rudiger of £3.5 million plus Parlak, and we'll wait and see what Stuttgart say. But to be honest, he's a centre-back. We don't really need a centre-back, so I'm not really sure whether I'm going to bother with that anyway. But we put a new bid for Maximilian Meyer as well, because I really want him. I really, really want Meyer. I know he's got a good potential, and even though his valuation maybe not the best at the moment, I really do want Maximilian Meyer, because he could be a fantastic player that grows for the future, So we put in a bid of £4 million, and we'll wait and see what Schalke say to that deal before we take on Borussia Mönchengladbach for the first game of today's episode, the first and only game of today's episode. So we take on Borussia Mönchengladbach here, and Ter Stegen playing against his former club here, and obviously we'd have Kraft returning to the Olympia Stadion as well, so an important game for us really. We won the first game by 2-0. We now want to push on. If we can get a really good start going this year, a few really good results early on, we'll definitely set the pace and definitely set the theme for this year. So a good few results early on, and yeah, I'd be very, very happy with back-to-back wins early on. And yeah, of course, Kraft playing against us since leaving, and obviously Ter Stegen playing against his former club. It was going to be a bit of a battle of the goalkeepers to see whether we'd made a mistake on letting Kraft go, because he did have a good season for us last year, or whether we made a good deal in signing Ter Stegen. But the first chance this game would fall in the 40th minute as Borussia Mönchengladbach give the ball away. Lasogga gets onto the ball and rolls it through towards Ramos here. He takes aim, but unfortunately Kraft makes a good save. So he was determined not to be beaten early on against us here. And from the corner, it's crossed in by Sigurdsson. Brooks wins the header. It hits the bar, and unfortunately he can't force it over the line either. So still 0-0. But the early chances coming to us, which is what I like to see. That was it for the first half, though, and we'd have to wait until the 50th minute for another chance here. Ramos intercepts his man, but I completely messed this up. I went 1-on-1, but I just completely fluffed my lines. I just panicked. I really did, and the finesse shot went wide of the post, and it was still 0-0. So a really big miss by me there. But from the goal kick, Kraft passes it forward, and eventually Borussia Mönchengladbach give the ball away. Ramos gives it to Hossegai. He plays it back to Ramos. Really good chance here, and unfortunately this time I thought I got the finish perfectly right, but it went wide of the post, and it was still 0-0. So I decided to sub off Ramos, because I wasn't playing well with him, and I thought I'd bring Yashir along, so I really like Yashir. And of course Ramos looks like he may actually be on his way to Bayer Leverkusen, so he finally signs a new contract, and now he looks like he's going to get sold. So we bring on Yashir. Of course we need to get him some game time, because he looks like he'll be the second choice striker if Ramos does leave. We bring on Yashir, and he had a chance pretty much straight after coming on. Lasogga chips the ball over the top. Yashir goes through 1-on-1, but unfortunately he hits the post, and it's cleared away. So Yashir already looking quite bright and vibrant, but it's still 0-0. In the 73rd minute, a great chance for Borussia Mönchengladbach. They play the ball forward, but De Jong misses the ball. So Ter Stegen, who had a very quiet afternoon, should have been tested there, but De Jong missed the ball. What a chance that was for Borussia Mönchengladbach. But from that, we kick the ball out wide. It comes to Marcos Roca. He finds Lasogga. Back to Marcos Roca, our new fullback. He crosses the ball in. Yashir wins the header, but Kraft makes a good stop. So he was determined to keep a clean sheet against us here. He didn't want to concede, and it was still 0-0. But in the 80th minute, how about this? Hossegai makes a great couple of challenges. I absolutely love Hossegai. He's moved from right back into his normal holding midfielder slot, and as he gets the ball here, he plays some nice passes. The ball goes out wide. Herman crosses the ball in. Lasogga's header is well saved by Kraft, but it's Hossegai who wins the header and puts it into the back of the net. So Hossegai, who I have been thinking about possibly replacing, and for example, if we are going to get Fellaini, Hossegai will be out of the team, and it'll be William Carvalho and Fellaini starting together. But I absolutely love Hossegai, and he gets the goal there, and he makes it 1-0. So 1-0 to us. Hossegai with a goal, and in the 85th minute, Sigurdsson strikes from range, but unfortunately for us, it goes over the bar, and it is still 1-0. But that was how the game would finish. We would hold on and get the 3 points. So thankfully for us, Ter Stegen keeps a clean sheet again. Back-to-back clean sheets for him. Really good start, but he had nothing to do all afternoon, really. But yeah, Kraft, who would have been desperate to keep a clean sheet and foil us here, does concede later on. It's Hossegai who gets the goal, and we do win the game. And again, I showed it in the last episode. I'm going to start showing the around the grounds after the game, so you can see how the other teams got on. I've never done that in career mode before, but I thought it's new. It's a new thing, and it was not a new thing, but it's a new thing for my series, if you will. And you guys can check out how the teams have been doing. So you feel like you sort of know the league as much as the team. You know what I mean? But anyway, big comes in for Langkamp, and we reject it. And also Schürrle reject the deal for Chelsea reject the deal for Schürrle, and also Wolfsburg reject the deal for Rodriguez, and also United rejected the deal for Fellaini. They want £7.5 million, which I'm not really prepared to offer, really. When you consider how much they spent for it, it's actually a really good deal, but to be honest, I'm not really prepared to pay that much money. We don't have that much money on us at the moment, and yes, holding midfield could be a good new place to sort of look at improving. If we do switch the formation around, if we do play a 4-2-3-1, depending on what we play, it could be a decent signing for us. Him and Carvalho could be a great holding midfield wall together, but even so, I'm not sure yet. But so we put in a new bid for Rodriguez. They want £10.5 million. They're not getting £10.5 million. We put in a bid of £6.5 million plus Vandenberg, and we wait and see what they say. But Borussia Dortmund don't want to let go of Schmelzer, which is not a real surprise, but I really would like to get him because he's at least an 80 rated player, and I feel like we could actually get him for quite a decent fee. But we put in a bid of £5 million, and we wait and see what they say. And also, Leverkusen said they will go as high as £10 million for Ramos and no higher. So I was looking at this and I was like, that's not a bad deal. £3 million higher than his valuation. We could probably get a little bit more money, but that's about as much we could probably realistically hope for. So I decided to go ahead and accept it. And I know you guys are probably sitting there thinking, why on earth would you do that? Seriously, he's an 80 rated player, but to be honest, we need to improve other areas in the squad. And I am thinking about changing the formation to play with just one up top. That'll mean Ramos gets wasted on the bench. But even so, he looks like he's on his way to Bayer Leverkusen, and that'll be an interesting deal. But as always, guys, a big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the episode, please leave a like, and I'll see you for the next next episode of my Next Gen Career Mode very soon.